And we are racing again. This time we've got a road race, which I haven't actually been able to film before. So yeah, quite cool that I get to show that. And it was the Dinnington Dynamo Cat 3-4 race the other weekend. The course was 87 kilometers long, so quite a bit longer than a regular crit race. And as a result, I haven't got footage for the whole race. I decided to just start the camera at the start of the race and show kind of how that and just show as long as I could. I've done a few road races before last year, and to be honest, I struggled with them even at the Cat 3 level. I think the first two I got dropped and was out the back, and then the third one I managed to just about get round in the bunch by the end. So I didn't have kind of a lot of expectations, which was like, I'll just make sure I film the start, because otherwise if I try and film the second half and I've already been dropped, then not much point. So yeah, we had about 40 riders here, which was a kind of a decent sized field. But I mean, when you're going kind of downhill I know 65 kilometers isn't really fast, but when you're going down side by side, people on single lanes, kind of with potential of oncoming traffic the other way, it does feel a bit sketchy, and you kind of get this new respect for riders who have to do their job in riding in the peloton every day. So the riders there just in front, kind of just a little deviation off the line, and yeah, it's a bit sketchy. But we come down to the first corner here. Luckily everyone kind of slows down and rolls through, and then kind of classic, as you get through and out the other side, everyone's sprinting out the corner to get on the wheels in front and make it difficult. I've got a teammate here in front, Sam. I think we had 4 of us from Alberosa in the race, which was quite nice. But I still find it quite hard to almost like work as a team in these sort of things, when a lot of the race I just felt like I was hanging on, really. But the course was a kind of undulating course around 900 meters in elevation over the whole thing. But yeah, let me just pick out a few parts of the race as someone attacks there on the right, which kind of show you what road racing is like in the UK. So the wind from the race was coming in from the west, and as you can see from the course outline on the right, we're going round anti-clockwise. The main stretch on the top of the map there was the main uphill, but then there was also this bit coming into a bit of a headwind where you're also still going uphill. And I think as we come up here towards the turn left there, this is probably the steepest part, so this is frequently where attacks were going. And yeah, I think there's someone off the front there you can just see going into the corner first. But yeah, this was quite an important place to be well positioned, because it was quite a tight corner. Luckily the traffic's been stopped so we can go wide. But yeah, quite a tight corner, really kills your speed, and especially when I take it that tight, and then I've got to do a lot of effort to keep on the wheels in front. And I think yeah, people going past me there. Didn't take that one too well, but there was 11 laps of the circuit, so as we did more and more, I was getting more confident with taking a good line here. So then yeah, we come onto this section of the lap, and we have a tailwind the whole time, and most of it's downhill after this kind of short little rise to the start finish. So yeah, this was usually a time where you could take it a bit easier and try and recuperate some of the losses in energy from other parts of the circuit. And then at the end of that straight, we come up again to this left turn. We've got some people trying to go off the front still, and yeah, just to show you kind of like how much it can kill your speed. And then I'm having to sprint 1,000 watts here just out of the saddle, just to try and keep with the wheels in front, and making sure I'm not losing any positioning, or kind of having to work even harder to stay in the group. Potentially working a bit too hard then, maybe that was unnecessary to go that hard, but I mean even here still doing over 500 watts just to keep in this line. And then another interesting feature of this course, which luckily the traffic stopped for, because you've got a bit of a chicane turning right and then left over all of these potholes, which was a bit sketchy. But yeah, can see it's pretty tight there, everyone trying to get the best position. Unfortunately I get pushed quite wide, and again over 1,000 watts to try and catch up with those wheels in front that I've lost. I think definitely the first couple of laps I wasn't taking my corners very well at all, but yeah, luckily managed to kind of work out the best lines as I went on. Yeah, you've got this little stretch just before then with a bit of a crosswind, but you're kind of sheltered before then a left turn onto the main road, which is then a short downhill before you start the long kind of gradual uphill all the way to the top of the circuit. And for those of you who don't know, so the road racing in the UK is done on open roads at this level, so you can see all those cars going past on the other side of the road. Luckily it's still pretty safe. You've got motorbikes and also a car convoy warning drivers that there's a bike race coming through. There shouldn't be at any time any vehicles on your side of the road, so as long as you keep to your side of the road you should be fine, because they should have been stopped by motorcycles or marshals. And then yeah, each of the turns, so each of the corners, you've also got marshals stopping traffic from coming from the other side of the road, which is nice, because otherwise it would be absolutely terrifying. A bit later on in the lap and we're on this climb, and yeah, putting quite a bit of power down, but I'm feeling alright, so I decided to try and move up the field a bit. Don't want to kind of get caught out and miss a big split in the bunch, and as I was kind of eased off a bit on the front, I just take the opportunity to slide my way up. Don't really want to be going all the way to the front to work, so I kind of just slot in here just to keep an eye on things, thinking that I'm still feeling quite good and in a good position. And then the attacks start going, so yeah, this guy shoots off to try and catch up the guy in front and try and form a bit of breakaway with him. So there's a bit of a movement in the peloton, but then yeah, another rider wants to do the same again, and yeah, there's not a lot of cohesion in the main bunch. It's probably a good idea to try and push on and get away in a small group up the road, especially on this section where you've got a bit of a crosswind coming in from the right hand side. So yeah, me being on the outside here, not ideal, but at least I'm giving a little bit of shelter to my teammate on the left hand side. But yeah, just trying to make sure I stay in the wheels and not losing too much ground in the bunch. So we're now on to lap 3 of 11, and you can see there's still riders trying to get up the roads. There's not a whole lot of urgency in the bunch at the moment, so people are kind of just drifting off the front. This guy realises the danger, also just kind of sprints across, make sure he's involved in that group. I'm also getting a bit itchy. I'm trying to stay on the outside to make sure that I have the option also to kind of go in a moment. I don't want to be really the one to push across. I can see this guy's also feeling the same. I kind of let him go past me and then use him, cling on his wheel. Well, I say cling on his wheel, he kind of gets a bit away from me, but try and use him a little bit to then push on and catch these guys up front, because I don't want to be left with a big split. And yeah, luckily this guy is strong and able to catch up to that group, and I'm able to hold with him. Unfortunately, I think we've also brought a few more people with us as well, which is why this guy's checking behind, see who's there. And I probably didn't have the energy to check behind me. You can see from my heart rate I was absolutely on the limit at this point. Probably going to regret making that effort later on, seeing as it kind of slows down once they realise that they're not away and everything's kind of come back together. But yeah, we end up just then rolling through these corners. So yeah, now a lap later onto lap 4, and it was still all as a bunch, still being people trying to attack but not being able to get away. Again, you can see people there starting to push on, some people coming from behind to try and attack, and I see it as a good opportunity to try and make sure I stay with them. So I come around the bunch and push on to try and stay with the riders who have gone off the front, working quite hard into this gap, unfortunately. Yeah, managed to get onto the group, still got the bunch behind me, and then start working up this hill, pushing on. And a pretty decent tempo is being set on the front here. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit because it's just a fast tempo on the front. I'm just trying to stay in the wheels, keep up with everyone. You can see people off the front, so there's a small group there of maybe like 3 or 4 riders off the front, which means, yeah, the pace has still got to be high to make sure that we've got a chance of keeping them within sight. We get a little bit further up the climb as we come up to the big left-hander, and that's when people push on even further. So you've got 4 on front there. People want to make sure they take that corner well and get a good run out. I do let the wheel slip a bit, but it does slow down quite a lot here, so I'm able to catch on quite easily. But then the push goes to make sure that we're not letting that group get away. And to be honest, it doesn't look like we should let them get away. Like, they've got a little bit of a gap, but it's really not that much of a gap. And you see a rider trying to bridge across there. Looks like we're kind of drawing them back in, and then suddenly it just slows massively, this group. And yeah, you can see some freewheeling here. Like, I assume just no one wanted to do the work on the front into the headwind to get them back, which is fair enough. I didn't just have the energy or power to really help on the front. I was just trying to make sure I stayed in this group. So yeah, we come up to the kind of end of the climb, and their gap is still there, potentially even slightly bigger. Riders realising the danger, so going on the attack on this steep bit. You can see the breakaway at the top of the climb there. Everyone obviously going now on the offensive or defensive to try and make sure they're not left behind. Unfortunately, I get caught on the inside of this corner here, which just takes all the speed out. I mean, everyone's sprinting out of the corner anyway, but yeah, let a massive gap open here. And you can see up the road you've got that breakaway, and then the peloton, I guess, is just strung out in a single file, and I'm having to do a lot of work. You see riders in front freewheeling here in the wheels, but luckily I managed to get back on. They slow down a bit, so I'm able to kind of soft pedal up to them after quite a big effort, though. Still really suffering here, and thinking, okay, fine, I'm back on into the bunch. This is fine for now. Let's just make sure I stay in the wheels, and it should be easy. But then everyone's on the on speed again, and yeah, you can see I'm having to put the power down just to stay with the wheels in front. I'm losing the wheels. Riders coming past me, still having to do 500 watts plus to just try and stay on the wheels that are coming past me, but unsuccessful at this point. I've got more riders coming past me, and I just don't feel like I have the energy to stay on their wheels until eventually one comes past, and I'm able to kind of stick there and eventually kind of get settled and use this downhill to then recuperate some of that energy that I've used up. And I think I had a gel at this point as well. Don't know how much difference that would make, but yeah. Unfortunately though, you can't really see, but the breakaway has got away, and we're kind of all just cruising down here really, and the breakaway's gap is growing, and there was about, I think, 10 in the breakaway or so, but 8 of them went to the finish. I think they had about a 2-minute lead by the end of the race, and yeah, that the final kind of was fought out between them. So yeah, a lap later now, on lap 5 out of 11, and as you kind of expect, there's just no cohesion in this group, no one really working together, so the break has got quite a big gap by this point, and I guess that opens up opportunities for other people to attack instead. So I'm just trying to make sure I stay up near the front, because I'd still like to be involved in, if I can, anything. Unfortunately, I just get almost knocked out the way there on that bend, having to work back then to catch on to the group. But yeah, as you see, they kind of slow down anyway, and that was kind of what was constantly happening, was someone would attack, everyone would follow, and then everyone would just ease off because no one would want to work on the front. Kind of just repeated cycles of that. So on to lap 7, and to be honest, I've just been sitting in. That lap 4 really broke me, and I've just been trying to kind of cling on. You can see another few riders have gone up the road from this group, and I kind of moved my way up, thinking that as we come up to this long climb, it's gonna probably all kick off again and split up. So yeah, just trying to give myself some wiggle room by pushing myself further up in the group. And yeah, the tempo starts getting set fairly strong on the front, strings out into single file, and so yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I kind of keep in the wheels in front of me. People start to attack, and yeah, really got to put down the power now to stay with people. People going off the front, you can see some people starting to struggle now as we're kind of well into the race. Gaps are opening up. Riders seeing it as an opportunity to then launch their own attacks to get across to those riders ahead. I wish I had the the energy to do that, but unfortunately I'm just going to have to sit in for now, with luckily my teammate on the front doing some work to try and catch us back up to that group. He signals for us to go past and keep pushing on. So yeah, we keep working on to try and catch that group in front, but then yeah, just attacked by more riders, and at this point I'm really just don't think I have the energy to stay on to these riders who have gone past. There's a few there that have opened up gaps, you can see, and yeah, I just can't catch any of these wheels that are coming past me. And at this point I'm really thinking I'm probably down and out, and I'm not going to be able to get back into this. The riders ahead are getting away. Kind of do one last dig up this slightly steeper bit here. I've got Ryan, a teammate, coming past. I try and latch onto his wheel, which has really taken all my effort now. Luckily managed to we somewhat catch up some of the ground on those people in front. And yeah, just really putting everything now into seeing if we can catch those riders. So yeah, sitting on Ryan's wheel for a bit, still people are coming past, try and catch up that guy in front, until eventually I lose the wheel to Ryan. Can't even hold that anymore, and yeah, at this point really looks like the race is getting away here. Luckily, I think the thing that saves me is still some riders behind me who come past at this point, and I'm able just to put in a little dig here just to try and make sure I stay on those wheels that are coming past and not completely out the back. And yeah, luckily I'm able to just bring myself to those wheels and can still give a go at catching some of those groups that have split off in front of us. So yeah, just sit on the back of these guys for a bit. Luckily I think I managed to get some energy back by doing this. Catch up with Ryan again, and then at this point get to the steep bit, and what are people doing? They're sprinting, and they're just trying to put everything into this last effort. I don't know where I got this energy from, but luckily I'm able to also put in a bit of a dig just to try and catch up with these people and stay with them. And I'm literally just putting everything into staying with the riders in front of me now, and trying to make sure I have a wheel to try and chase back onto that main group still when we get onto this bit. So yeah, I'm thinking let me just stick in the wheels here. Someone's luckily doing a turn on the front, moves over, I come through to do my turn, and yeah, luckily relieved of that duty as well fairly quickly. And eventually we managed to get back up to that main group then on this descent, which is a relief because I thought I was out of the race there, but yeah, all back together apart from that big breakaway of 8 that are way off in front. So yeah, this is the last of the footage I have as we're sprinting out of that corner, and it kind of sums up how the rest of the race was. There was kind of a lot of sprinting and then lots of lulls as no one wanted to work on the front, people kind of rolling off the front, some attacks, but nothing else really sticking. And so yeah, we come to the last lap, and I managed to stay with the bunch, but it was on that final bit of the climb that I kind of just lost contact and rolled across the finish line in kind of just behind the bunch, not really able to compete in the sprint. But yeah, you can see here, like, I've just rolled up to the front, not really putting a lot of effort into it, but just because no one's really willing to do the chasing. Yeah, so kind of fairly happy with how it went, but yeah, definitely still improvements I can make. I think I need to try and improve my top end power to really follow those attacks. But yeah, hopefully for next race. Thanks for watching.